Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. I've been authorized by the Cabinet to make the following statement. First, I'd like to thank you for the opportunity to deliver this statement on the annual report of the Financial Intelligence Unit of Trinidad and Tobago for the year ended September 30th, 2020. In accordance with Section 18 of the Financial Intelligence Unit of Trinidad and Tobago Act, Chapter 7201, the Director of the Financial Intelligence Unit submitted to the Minister of Finance its annual report for the year ended September 30th, 2020 to be laid in Parliament. Today, I would like to outline to this Honourable House some of the main highlights of this report. In the area of combating money laundering and the financing of terrorism, the following legislative actions were undertaken. In May 2020, the Financial Intelligence Unit Act, Chapter 7201, was amended by the Miscellaneous Amendments Act, No. 10 of 2020, to strengthen and improve the operations of the Financial Intelligence Unit. Secondly, the Proceeds of Crime Act, Chapter 1127, was amended by the Miscellaneous Provisions, Proceeds of Crime and Central Bank Act 2019, and the Proceeds of Crime Large Transactions Order 2019 also came into effect. Additionally, the Financial Obligations Regulations 2020 was amended by Legal Notice Number 386, the Financial Obligations Amendment Regulations 2019. Furthermore, in June 2020, the Real Estate Act 2020, Act Number 12 of 2020, was enacted and will, among other things, assist in the detection and prevention of money laundering and terrorist financing through the registration and regulation of real estate agents. Moreover, a major development for Trinidad and Tobago's financial sector was achieved in July 2020 with the introduction of the E-Money Issuer Order 2020. In accordance with the order, entities such as payment service providers and e-money issuers that engage in any of these activities must be licensed by the Central Bank of Trinidad and Tobago and registered with the Financial Intelligence Unit as a money or value transfer service business. Other legislative actions were taken to bolster the anti-money laundering, counter-financing of terrorism, counter-proliferation financing, also known as AML, CFT, CPF regime, including the assent of the miscellaneous provisions, Registrar General, Registration of Deeds, Conveyancing and Law of Property, Real Property, Stamp Duty, and Registration of Title to Land Act, Act Number 17 of 2020. Madam Speaker, in the area of fostering a culture of compliance, during October 2019 to September 30th, 2020, the Financial Intelligence Unit adjusted its supervisory activities due to the challenges of COVID-19. The national effort to reduce the potential impact of the pandemic led to a temporary closure of businesses in high-risk sectors such as private members club, motor vehicle sales and real estate, supervisory and monitoring activities continued with the necessary adjustments, notwithstanding the challenges faced as a result of the global pandemic. The Financial Intelligence Unit observed general compliance by individuals, businesses, and organizations required to register, thereby bringing them under Financial Intelligence Unit supervision. For this reporting period, 329 entities registered with the FIU, bringing the total number of registrants with the FIU to 3,337 as at the 30th of September 2020. This represented a 10% increase over the previous period. In terms of terrorist property reports, the FIU observed a continued improvement in compliance by reporting entities with the adoption of sanctions screening of their client database. This can be attributed to increased awareness and supervision efforts by the supervisory authorities. Also, with regard to independent testing, tests were conducted by competent professionals to assess the adequacy of the AML, CFT, CPF policies and procedures implemented by supervised entities. Though this is a legal obligation, it is also a compliance tool beneficial to both the entity and the FIU. Madam Speaker, in the area of financial intelligence, during the reporting period and for the first time, the FIU received a total of 1,831 suspicious transaction reports or suspicious activity reports, the most it has received in its 10 years of existence. This represented an 80% increase from the previous reporting period, previous year. Also, during the reporting period, the FIU noted a 141% increase in suspicious transaction reports or suspicious activity reports submissions from financial institutions and an 80% increase in the submissions from listed businesses in comparison to the previous year. The total monetary value of the 1,831 suspicious transaction reports, suspicious activity reports, received in the reporting period amounted to approximately $27 billion. Of the 1,831 suspicious transaction reports or suspicious activity reports, 1,517 were completed transactions, while 314 were attempted transactions. The number of suspicious transactions stopped by reporting entities rose to 314 in 2020 from 86 in 2019. There was also a substantial increase in the monetary value of the attempted suspicious transactions when compared with 2019. Suspected tax evasion ranked the highest among the 5 most common reasons for the submission of suspicious transaction reports or suspicious activity reports. In this reporting period, the most common suspected criminal conduct included tax evasion, 539, money laundering, 530, suspicious financial activity, 401, fraud, 205, and drug trafficking, 92. These 5 suspected criminal conducts accounted for 97% of the total number of suspicious transactions or suspicious activity reports submitted, and 99.89% of the total monetary value of all reports. With regard to the financing of terrorism, the FIU received 12 suspicious transaction reports or suspicious activity reports on suspected financing of terrorism, compared to 97 in the previous period. This represented an 88% decrease and may be attributable to the apparent collapse of the Islamic State of Iraq and Syria. Madam Speaker, the demonetization exercise of the old cotton-based $100 currency notes resulted in a significant increase in the submissions of suspicious transaction reports, suspicious activity reports by reporting entities, with 750 received. That's with respect to the demonetization. In the area of strategic alliances, cooperation, and collaboration, the FIU received 184 requests on 598 subjects from law enforcement authorities, compared to the 221 received on 636 subjects during 2019, representing a 17% decrease. Cash seizures related to money laundering, which totaled 61, was the highest suspected criminal conduct of the requests received, representing 1/3 of the requests. This was a 135% increase from the previous period. In the area of resources and infrastructure, in November 2019, the FIU staff increased by 22% from 49 to 60 positions, following Cabinet's approval of 10 additional compliance and outreach professionals and 1 administrative support staff in the Compliance and Outreach Division. During the period, the Information and Technology Division upgraded its FIU Connect secure online reporting solution, as well as its security environment to protect its web server and network. Finally, Madam Speaker, in terms of its strategic priorities for 2021, the FIU anticipates the introduction of legislative amendments to the Gambling, Gaming and Betting Control Bill 2020, extending the range of sanctions to include administrative fines in the AML, CFT, CPF regime, amendments to the Financial Intelligence Unit of Trinidad and Tobago regulations, and the regulation, supervision, and monitoring of fintechs, including virtual assets and the virtual assets service providers for AML, CFT, and CPF. I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Minister of Public Utilities.